So, Michael, I don't know if you know, a new Star Wars, I guess, piece of content,
Good.
because that's what it is.
I know about this, yes.
Yeah, has been released recently, which is, of course, The Acolyte.
Yeah, is it getting lots of accolades?
Well, it has become the lowest rated Star Wars project after review bombing on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh no, those
Yes.
damn racists.
Yes, it is now at 14% audience score, and I have no idea why this is. I assume because there's a black character. I mean, that's my best guess, but maybe there's a female character as well.
There's probably, they might have even gone so far as to include a whole woman, which would be pretty terrible.
Also, some trolls appear to have got confused about which project to target because a similarly named but entirely unrelated 2008 horror film called Acolyte has been bombarded with negative reviews.
And I bet that one didn't even have black people in it. Hello and welcome to Select and Reflect, the movie review podcast where we look at films that have come out in the near and distant past, we give them a couple of watches and evaluate them beyond first impressions. I'm your host Michael and I'm joined as always by my co-host Luke, and this week we are celebrating the 20-year anniversary of the movie The Notebook. So Luke, why don't you tell us a thing or two about The Notebook?
Yes, Michael, we are looking at The Notebook today because, you know, it's the summer of love on Select and Reflect. That's what it is, because we are reviewing three romantic movies, very romantic movies in a row.
Or you could say in a romantic.
Yeah, you could say that, I guess.
Thank you.
It was meant to be 4 in a row, but someone had to go to Cornwall.
Yeah. What was the other one we were going to do?
Eternal Sunshine.
Oh, yeah, that is romantic too.
Yeah. Well, these movies, all of these 4 movies now down to 3, we're going to explore, different aspects of, like, romance, That's why I put them in a row. And, of course, The Notebook is one of these movies. It came out 20 years ago. That is why we are reviewing it today. It is a 2004 American romantic drama film directed by Nick Cassavetes from a screenplay by Jeremy Levin and Jan Sardi, based on the 1996 novel, of the same name by Nicholas Sparks. Nicholas Sparks better be gay, honestly.
You know what? I think he's actually straight, which is entirely unacceptable.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. I think there's like something, there always is something about like him being in some way problematic, as they say. I don't know what it is, but I think it's probably something to do with like some people don't like the way he writes women, I guess. Except for the fact that a lot of women presumably like his movies and books, so I don't know about that.
Like this movie, The Notebook, is like women's number one movie.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
I think so. Basically, it's like the political people. It's like how every single black person liked Green Book, but then you had the racial agitators who decided to complain about it.
Yeah, I guess it's it's a good comparison. That now I'm thinking about it. Yeah. So anyway, this movie, The Notebook, stars Ryan Gosling, Rachel McAdams, James Garner, Gina Rowlands, James Marsden, Kevin Connolly, Sam Shepard, and Joanne Allen. It was released on June the 25th, 2004 in the United States. So yeah, we're very close to its 20-year anniversary. And Michael, can you tell me what the budget was for The Notebook?
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I don't think either of these actuals were huge. I don't know when Mean Girls, just the fact they had the same first syllable, kind of. Anyway.
Did you actually get that wrong on purpose?
I didn't get it wrong on purpose.
Oh my God.
I don't know when Mean Girls came out, but I don't think that would have made Regina George super famous. Rachel McAdams, I guess, is her name. And I guess Ryan Johnson wasn't that famous at this point. So I'm kind of like...
What did you just call him?
Oh God, what's his name? Ryan Gosling. Who's Ryan Johnson? Oh, he's the guy who did Star Wars. I'm all over the place today. All right. So
you know what you did there, Michael? By getting his name wrong, you subverted my expectations.
I know exactly. Yeah. So I'm not confident either way, because then I'm like, well, maybe Nicholas Sparks' movies had been established at this point. I know there's lots of movies based on his book, so maybe they were like, we can just throw a whole lot of money at it. I don't think it could have been that much though. So I'm going to say like, I was going to guess 15 million. Okay. I was also going to guess 20.
Okay, well, it's 29.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah. I narrowly avoided the situation with the 15, which is good.
Yes. So one of the reasons why we are reviewing The Notebook is because it is known as a cult classic. Again, the cult...
Well, you haven't asked me how much it made at the box office yet.
So I was gonna preface that.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
That question with that fact. I guess the thing is, the cult in this case is just women. I think.
As always.
The cults of women like this movie. Anyway, can you tell me, Michael, what this made at the box office?
So you say cult classic, usually that means it didn't make that much. But I can't imagine this movie bombed. Like,
No, it did not bomb. No.
so I'm thinking, so it was 29 million. I'm gonna guess like it made 50 million.
Oh wow, you went less than half.
Oh really? Okay, yeah. You really ruined me with that cult classic comment.
If I didn't say cult classic, what would you have gone with?
I don't know. Maybe I would have gone for like 60 million if you hadn't said cult classic,
Okay,
which would have made a
again,
massive difference.
You would have just been slightly over less than half.
Oh, okay, see, I could have narrowed it. You completely screwed me, Luke.
So I'm not going to put a mark against you for that because yeah, I don't want to influence you in a negative way. The box office was 117.8 million. So that's the thing. It did relatively well at the box office, but then of course it has had staying power, and
Yes.
that is why we are reviewing this movie. So Michael, tell me, did you like The Notebook?
Well, you know what, Luke? I decided to look at some of Nicholas Sparks' other movies, not watch them, of course not, but just see what the general consensus was, and it turns out this is his best movie according to the critics, if you believe them. And with that said, I don't feel too gay if I say that I just about on balance did like this movie, which is not to say I have zero criticisms, but I thought like the premise was pretty obvious, and I guess like the word would be trite, kind of emotionally. But I think it was sufficiently emotionally manipulative in a good way that I mildly enjoyed it. Like compared to, let's say, a worse movie that just tried to do a whole load of like emotional stuff and completely flopped. Like I don't think this movie really failed at what it was trying to do. So yeah, on balance, I actually did like it.
Yeah, did you call this emotionally manipulative?
Yes, that's what I called it.
And that's interesting. We'll get onto that a bit later.
Yes.
I have a question. Well, I'll tell you first whether I liked it. And the answer is it's kind of the same as you. Like in terms of like emotional, like sappy romantic dramas, or who's this girl gonna choose? This is like the best one.
Yeah.
Because I know it's shit, but they maximize again what they have. Like all the cliches, they are cliches. And I feel like I've seen these tropes so many times before, but these are the best versions of these tropes.
Yeah, that's it. Like sometimes everyone needs like a movie that does some pretty kind of like overdone stuff well. Like when things are overdone, most movies are going to say, oh, that's crap, it's overdone. But there's got to be that one movie where you're like, well, this did all that overdone stuff, but it did it probably the best out of all of them.
I guess tropes exist for a reason because they're popular. Because they're good for these dramatic moments. So if you can do them well, you're like, well, I've seen this before. But if you had no idea about these tropes, that were in romantic drama movies or rom-coms or any romantic kind of movie, and you watch this for the first time without any knowledge of these like cliches, you'd be like, oh wow, this is really incredible. Wow, this is so emotional. So I kind of respect the movie for that. But yeah, it is. Look, I've made a couple of comments regarding women liking this movie. I just want to know, Michael, has your wife seen this and does she like it?
So I can confirm, not only has my wife seen this, but I have seen this movie with my wife.
Did you watch it with your wife for the review?
No, I didn't actually. So I was kind of like, when you said we were doing this movie, I was kind of pleasantly surprised because I was like, oh, that means that I got something out of having already seen this movie before. Because we watched it on Netflix one time when, we were looking for a...
suggest it?
She was the one who suggested it, yes.
Yes, and I imagine she likes it a lot.
Yeah, so I would say, to be fair, she wasn't like, oh, I love it, blah, blah, blah.
Fair enough.
She wasn't like super enthused. She wasn't like, wasn't it dreamy? But obviously she suggested it. So yeah, it's like she likes it.
I think there is, again, with this movie, a reputation that it has. And I am not surprised, again, the experience that you told me with your wife, that is not, I imagine, uncommon. Yeah.
I was thinking, like, if you're kind of like a red pill misogynist, then actually I feel like, everyone complains about them, but just watching a lot of the most popular romantic movies could really red pill them even more, because like so many of them are just like, wouldn't it be awesome if I got to cheat on my on my boyfriend or whatever?
What if I got to cheat on my boyfriend, and the two guys who want me are like 10 out of 10. Like,
yeah, that's it, yeah.
So handsome, really nice, and despite me cheating on my fiance, he still wants me back, and he still isn't angry at me.
It's what they deserve.
It's like, again, I'm gonna compare this movie to another movie which I guess is a female fantasy. Like, this is kind of a female fantasy. Obviously, it has like the dementia aspect, which kind of negates the fantasy a bit. But that makes it even more romantic because of what obviously Noah does. So, yeah. But yeah, another movie which has this ridiculous, like, yeah, it is. It's like a female fantasy going on is Titanic.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yes,
yeah.
Good.
And of course, there are even more comparisons to Titanic, which shall be made in this review. Anyway, Michael, how many nitpicks do you have?
I've got one nitpick.
Okay, I've actually got 3. This is the most nitpicks I've had for a movie.
We've kind of been like slacking on the nitpicks recently.
Yeah, like for ages. But yeah, I decided this was the movie that I was gonna nitpick. But you go.
That's fine.
You go first.
So my nitpick is kind of a bit of a meta nitpick. It's just the fact that there's a line of dialogue where the woman herself, who's being read the story, the old lady says, "This is a good story," and it's like, come on, dude, you gotta have some class. Have some grace, have some humility. You can't have somebody in the story you've written say, "This is a really good story."
Yeah, but like, she's a woman, so she'd like.
That's it. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, he's self-aware.
Exactly. So, right, my first nitpick. So of course, this Windsor plantation is central to the movie, right?
Oh, you're going to be about slavery. You're gonna.
Why was that plantation built in the first place? Do we think?
I don't know, probably for like some normal, fine reasons.
Yeah, in the year 1772.
Yeah. I think probably just so women could sit there and act out Gone with the Wind, where it's like just about the war, but no one mentions what the war is about, and they get to drink kind of iced tea.
Yeah, like women can just sit on the balcony painting topless.
Yeah.
And that's it. They can just be out by the river, and that's really what the plantation was meant to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're noticing, that there's of course they don't have to worry about certain undesirable men who, let's just say, we wouldn't want fraternizing with our women. That they're not there anymore, and of course you're nitpicking the fact the movie doesn't celebrate this sufficiently.
Yeah, like why was the Windsor plantation dilapidated? Was this something that happened about 80 years ago, which killed the business model?
Yeah,
which prevented the house from being kept up in good conditions. Yeah, what do we think happened about 80 years ago?
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway,
Lincoln really just wanted to get on the property ladder.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so. Older Noah, this is my next nitpick, doesn't look like Ryan Gosling, and
That's
I think
actually, that is fair.
Older, Ali, does actually look a bit like Rachel McAdams.
You know what? This just like created the most hilarious thought in my head of like, obviously Ali has dementia. Like, what if older Noah isn't actually younger Noah, and he's just like some random old guy who's usurped? It doesn't really work because like the kids showed up and everything.
Yeah.
But it would be funny to just imagine like the exact same movie except the kids didn't show up, and it turns out that like it's just an old guy who's usurped the position of her actual husband.
Yeah, he's another patient with dementia, and he just found this notebook, and he's like, oh.
This happened to me.
This must be me. I must be Noah. Okay, this must be my diary. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, again, he doesn't like Ryan Gosling has got quite a sharp like face.
This guy's very pudgy or broad.
No, not pudgy. Like his jaw is quite wide. When Ryan Gosling hasn't got that wide.
He's
jaw.
like the old man from Up.
Yes, exactly. And Ryan Gosling has a slender look, and there is a reason why I know this or have focused on this, which we'll get to. But anyway, also, my next nitpick, there was not a movie moment where Ali and Noah run to each other and kiss.
That's a good point.
At the MTV Movie Awards. Because the thing is, I have seen this clip. It's gone viral on Twitter, where it's the MTV Movie Awards, and Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams run from opposite sides of the stage into each other. They run, and Rachel McAdams jumps into Ryan Gosling, and they kiss, and it's like, oh yeah, what a, because it's the MTV Movie Awards, like Best Kiss, probably something like that. And I was expecting, I thought they were recreating what happened in the movie, but that
it turns out it was just like Rachel McAdams sexually assaulting Ryan Gosling.
Well, they were in a relationship later, so
were they?
Yeah,
and then he ended up dating that old Latina lady.
Yeah, well, what
a downgrade, Eva Mendes.
Yeah. Oh, no, do you know what? I saw a story kind of recently. You just reminded me that Eva Mendes doesn't let Ryan Gosling hang out with Rachel McAdams because apparently they're too close. So she doesn't let him, even though Rachel McAdams is married with 2 kids.
Oh wow, this is I don't know. Look, yeah, like she's I believe like we're allowed to say that there are certain women who are a bit caliente, let's say, a bit fiery, and let's just say you don't want to get between them and their man.
Yes, and Eva Mendes might be one of those women. But so again, I was expecting that moment, and it just didn't happen, and I was like, oh damn it, the MTV Movie Awards lied to me.
Yeah, that actually, I actually feel bad because I'm sure you're really excited for that. Like,
have you seen that?
Like, I can't wait to see. No, I've never actually seen that. Yeah. You've got me thinking about when what's his face, Adrian Brody, sexually assaulted Halle Berry.
Why are you focusing on sexual assault?
I don't know, just because that's. You're right. You're right. This movie's very consensual.
Yeah. That's always important.
Yeah, I would like to come out and 100% endorse consent. Look, the situation is those are all very good nitpicks, Luke. Well done.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Anyway, so the plot of the movie, we'll get into it. So the film tells the story of a young couple who fall in love in the 1940s. Their story is read from a notebook in the present day by an elderly man. Who could he be? Yeah. Who could that man be? Telling the tale to a fellow nursing home resident. Who could that fellow nursing home?
You know what? Since you're mentioning it now, I mean, I just wanted to say, I did want to say that I respect the fact they didn't really try to keep it a twist. Like, they don't leave it right to the end. Like, they don't reveal it right away, even though you can pretty much probably work out right away that, but like I was like, at least they weren't like right at the end, like, how was that? Because obviously it's like a reveal for her when she's like, how was that go? But like, it's not a reveal for us because you have the whole scene with like the teacher, the children being like, his mum, blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
they could have gone in two directions with that. They could have either gone with, okay, we're going to just increase the tension and then reveal it. But again, you couldn't leave too many clues, You couldn't focus on them, which of course at various points the movie does cut to the present day and does focus a lot on these characters. Or you could do what the movie does and just reveal it so we all know. And then it's about, obviously, this Ali, this elderly Ali then, understanding what's happened. And then the reveal for her is what the audience is invested in, which, again, is kind of it's a safer path and maybe a more interesting path and maybe, a more romantic kind of way for the movie to go.
Yeah.
Because it's not all about, oh, wow, those people were... Oh, they were Ali and Noah, because then, that could be a bit tacky, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it would be difficult, like, to make it so that you could reasonably expect people not to think, why have we got two random old people seemingly in the present day? I mean, you can't necessarily tell us in the present day, but like two random old people reading about some people. Yeah, I was trying to think how obvious it was.
Because they don't talk down to the black nurses.
That's true, yeah. Talking about some people from the 1940s, I think it would be very difficult to even make it subtle enough to function as a twist.
Yes. So, a poor yet passionate young man falls in love with a rich young woman.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I've seen this before.
Yeah, like that's that's one of probably the biggest cliches, like that whole thing of like, all I was thinking about was, Avril Lavigne's Skater Boy. Like, you're a punk and I do ballet.
What more can I say?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like maybe we could continue to make fun of just how much they lean into that whole, like, you're from two different worlds thing, because they lean into it a lot early on.
Like Titanic.
Yes.
Look, the next line, a poor yet passionate young man falls in love with a rich young woman, giving her a sense of freedom. That could have been ripped right from the Titanic blurb.
That is, yeah. Why do women like poor guys?
Because poor guys give them freedom.
That's it,
but they have to look like Ryan Gosling or Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So social differences soon get, of course, in the way. Wow. Just like Titanic. And it's told from a perspective of one of the characters like 80 years in the future.
That's it, yeah. It was the most erotic moment of her life.
Yeah, it is incredibly similar to Titanic.
The only difference is that her fiance doesn't hit her.
Yes, it's
he probably should have.
Okay, right. Well then. Yeah, it's Titanic from the guy's perspective at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's it's still told, of course, in the present day, and I guess the difference is they both survive, and one of the characters doesn't just sacrifice themselves needlessly for the other. I guess that's good. But yeah, it's a very similar plot line and kind of a similar structure. But yeah, I guess the book came out before the movie Titanic was released, so
James Cameron's the hack.
Yeah, maybe.
To be fair, I think everyone had already said that James Cameron basically just took the Titanic and then posted a very generic idea for a romantic comedy on it. So he kind of is the hack.
I mean, what was the first like piece of media to do this? Was it like Pride and Prejudice?
Well, sorry, I was going to say. Well, see, I was going to say Romeo and Juliet.
No,
to be
no,
fair,
no,
Romeo
no.
and Juliet. It's not
No,
really a. It's not about like social class, really. Is
Exactly.
It?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So I think you could be right with. I mean, so yeah, Pride and Prejudice. I think makes sense. After all, it's even got the word prejudice in the name.
It
So
does.
it's like about like he's not right. So
Yeah.
yeah, well done. I think you're right there.
Yeah. I guess two people from different social classes fall in love, and society doesn't like it. And I guess it's perhaps more interesting if the woman falls for a man. I guess. Sorry, the woman falls for a poor man rather than the poor woman. I guess. I wouldn't say Pride and Prejudice is like a female fantasy movie or
No,
book,
yeah.
or book, obviously, because it was a book first. But this very much is in that vein. And therefore, if it's a female fantasy, well, the woman has to be kind of wealthy, I
Yeah,
guess
exactly. Yeah, because like women don't want to imagine themselves being poor.
No, I guess that makes more sense. Yeah. So, so here is a quote from I think Wikipedia, or the review section on Wikipedia. And what was the phrase you mentioned before, Michael?
I said emotionally manipulative.
Yeah.
Which I assume is not relevant to what you're about to say.
Yes, it's hard to not admire its unabashed sentimentality, but The Notebook is too clumsily manipulative to rise above its melodramatic cliches. Now, again, I was thinking about how this movie is melodramatic. Of course, I was thinking about cliches, and then you said the word manipulative, and it's like, yeah, and of course there's sentimentality in there. I think I called it schmaltzy, but like I just love that review or that line from the from this review, because it's like, yeah, it's just hits everything we've been saying. And I think there's, clearly a pretty clear consensus on what this movie is. And on some level, you have to kind of respect that. And it just goes for it. And it does. And again, I think the performances, which we haven't talked about so far, of Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams are really good. And I think that goes a long way to why this movie is like bearable.
Yeah,
and
I think it also helps that like Rachel McAdams, like I'm probably going to be wrong here, but I was going to say her most famous other role, certainly from this era, would have been what's it called, Mean Girls, and like the fact that those two roles are quite different. Like obviously she's much more antagonistic. Like that also kind of helps with her seeming like a proper actor.
Yeah. No, I guess you're right. Yeah,
I think it's probably like good for an actor if like you don't have to worry about the subtleties if you're doing like two different characters who are quite different from each other. So she had it easy.
She was in Wedding Crashers, wasn't she?
Yeah. I haven't actually seen. You know what? We've not actually, as far as I know, reviewed like kind of one of those romantic comedies that's actually like a shitty movie, probably starring Seth Rogen or Vince Vaughn or Ben Stiller, and like those kind of the usual suspects in those Judd Apatow style movies. I feel like we haven't reviewed one of those yet.
Yeah, well, next year maybe we will. Yeah. So the development of this movie. So the film rights to the novel were acquired in 1996. So Jeremy Levin was hired to write the script, which caught the attention of Steven Spielberg, who wished to film it with, guess which actor he wanted to play Noah.
Noah? Okay. Leonardo DiCaprio?
No, that's a good guess.
See, I was thinking, okay. See, now I'm thrown off, because so like it's got to be something like, is it just like another kind of iconic sex symbol?
Kind of, I'm not sure sex symbol is the right description.
Because my next guess was going to be like Jeff Goldblum.
My next guess was going to be Will Smith. That would have taken on a very different tone.
Oh, I was thinking, like what if the guy was like black? That would be.
Yeah. No, it's someone incredibly famous.
Oh, someone incredibly famous. So not like. I was going to say like Michael Jackson, but the reason I was going to say that is because like I know that during the 90s, Michael Jackson had a weird habit of like putting himself forward to like he wanted to be Spider-Man at one point.
Spielberg wanted this guy.
So someone really famous, not Will Smith, but I guess kind of famous in the 90s.
Still famous today, still one of the most famous actors ever.
Oh, really? Okay. Because I was going to say Brad Pitt, but he's definitely a sex symbol.
Good shout, but no.
Okay, so I'm on the right lines. So it's not
just
in
kind of famous, like the most famous actor you can think of.
I'm really trying to think about like,
he rose to prominence in the 80s.
Oh, is it like Ferris Bueller, Matthew McConaughey? No, not Matthew McConaughey.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Ferris,
you mean Matthew Broderick, and then you said Matthew McConaughey.
I couldn't remember his name. He rose to prominence. Oh, Tom Cruise. It's one of those things where like as soon as I actually get it, I'm like, oh yeah, obviously it's that.
Yeah, so you can understand my frustration.
Yeah. But I'm glad I wasn't like Tom Cruise. Like once I realized it was Tom Cruise, I was like, it's obviously Tom Cruise.
So Spielberg was committed to other projects, which led Nick Cassavetes. How do you say that name? I don't know.
I'd say Casavetta probably sounds right. I don't know. I didn't know how it's spelled, but
Nick Cassette Tapes being named director. Early in development, George Clooney was going to play Noah as well.
He's so old looking.
I know. That's the thing. I was like, he would have been far too old.
Like who would the old version of him have been?
This is actually the next line. Paul Newman would have been the older Noah.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
I should be calling Paul Old Man.
But after Clooney watched some Paul Newman movies, he went up to Newman and said he did not look like him. But honestly, I think Ryan Gosling kind of looks like Paul Newman.
That's actually, that's a good point, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, cassette tape Cassavetes wanted someone unknown. And this is the crucial thing, okay? Because what did you say about Ryan Gosling?
Well, I said I didn't think he was that famous at this point.
No. Before we started recording.
Oh, before we started recording?
Yeah.
I said he was attractive. That's what I said.
So Cassavetes wanted someone unknown and, quote, not handsome to portray Noah. And he chose Ryan Gosling for the role.
Oh, God. Well, the thing is, you've got to bear this in mind about women, and a lot of people know this, is that, like,
this guy, he's a man, right? You know that?
No, sorry. But what I'm saying is, like, I feel like, you know, like, I'm not surprised in a way that sometimes you'll get men who just completely miss the mark on what women find attractive because, you know, like, which guy would have seen Benedict Cumberbatch being attractive? No one would have seen it. So, but having said that, I feel like I would struggle to imagine not thinking Ryan Gosling would be obviously attractive.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think he is just, like, he's naturally, like, good looking. Yeah. Like, there's, again, I don't know how you can say he's not handsome.
Yeah, again, like, I've never really worked out what the rules are for why anyone is attractive, frankly. But, he's definitely got every part of his face in the right place.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. That comment hurt me quite a bit because, as I've told you, I have been compared to Ryan Gosling before in terms of how I look. And I actually... Oh, that was an interesting...
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like, the thing is, so I can see it. Would you be offended if I advanced on that and said, you know, at least a marginally, like, a kind of, let's use the phrase, a discount Ryan Gosling.
I literally used that phrase before.
Okay, yeah, good. I just thought, you know, we should scale things back a little bit here.
You've got something in your brain that recalled that phrase because that's what the phrase I used.
But the thing is, I can see it. I couldn't explain exactly what it is. I think maybe you have similar noses, similar lips, maybe.
Because here's the thing, I was gonna bring this up as a topic on the Poper's Gate. I just haven't got round to it. Like, there is a picture of Ryan Gosling while he was doing his Barbie, you know, promotion last year, which looks scarily like me, like, to a crazy degree. And the thing is, he's like 42 in this photo.
So basically what we've established is you look really old.
No. But I'm like, wow, that looks quite a bit like me. And I don't know whether to be, like, offended by the fact that Nick Cassavetes is like, no, he's not handsome, or I should maybe not be offended.
I mean, well, look, you've got to bear in mind that, like we have established, the problem for you is if you're a discount Ryan Gosling, then you really need him to be attractive because otherwise you're like a less attractive version of someone who apparently. But don't worry, Luke, Ryan Gosling is attractive.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, but the difference between Gosling and me, and this is the key thing in terms of, I mentioned before, like, his he's got a slender face. The thing is, Gosling has got, and this is the key with all Hollywood actors, like, he's got a really, like, he's got a jaw which sticks out, I guess. You know
that's it. Yeah. He's got, like, I can see, because I would say the center of your face is quite similar.
Yeah.
But maybe he's got a slightly nicer framing. The other thing is there's, like, personality things. Like, he's got the southern charm going for him.
Even though he's not southern.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
No, I mean, he's Canadian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right, yeah. Is it weird that Ryan Reynolds is also Canadian? Yeah.
But yeah, just to do a recap on this thing, I'm glad we can refute what Nick Cassavetes said, because there's no hope for me if he's not handsome, honestly.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's no hope for any of us.
Yeah, good point. Also, another actor who was considered for the role was Hayden Christensen. And I think he would have done so much worse a job than Ryan Gosling.
Well, you know, he's what's the word? He doesn't like sand.
Again, like, I've just imagined him in those romantic scenes in Star Wars, and, like, him with Rachel McAdams. Oh god. But yeah, I can't imagine that would have been good. Anyway, let's move on now to the actual movies. In 1940, at a carnival in Seabrook Island, South Carolina, a lumber mill worker called Noah Calhoun sees 17-year-old heiress.
I'm sorry, 17? Unacceptable.
Well, how old is he?
He must be pretty old to be a carnival worker, a lumberyard worker.
Are you no?
I was... Well, okay, I guess actually, sorry, this is the past, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I forget about the past sometimes.
I mean, he's poor and he probably didn't even graduate high school, did he?
He's probably 12. She's the one abusing him.
Exactly. Alison Allie Hamilton, there for the summer. Yes, she's there for the summer, and he pursues her, and they begin a romance. So, of course, he pursues her by threatening to kill himself. I have tried that, and let me tell you, it almost worked.
Okay, yeah. No, yeah, I mean, so, there's like a... what's the word? A video essay on problematic things in what's it called? Maybe this is where I heard about Nicholas Sparks being problematic. But yeah, obviously this is one of those things. To be fair, like every single romantic comedy, you have these moments that are, technically speaking, if you actually did them in real life, not an okay thing to do. Mostly because, again, the kind of person who would do this would not look like Ryan Gosling. It's the classic "hello, human resources" meme. Like, if I imagine the kind of guy who would actually threaten to kill himself because he wants to go on a date with a girl, it would probably be that, like, weirdo who, you know, just is, like, stalking her. You know, like you said, you've done it.
Wow.
Anyway, no.
Again, well, the reason why it almost worked is because I didn't quite look like Ryan Gosling.
That's it, yeah.
I was just
she was like, you can kill yourself.
Yeah.
There's a point at which you look enough like Ryan Gosling that you don't have to kill yourself. But yeah, like, obviously, with a lot of these romantic comedies, there are, like, moments which you actually couldn't in reality get away with. But every single time, it's kind of fun to point them out. So yeah, point it out we shall.
Yes. I just think it's funny. He tries to kill him. Like, that's his first move.
That's it, yeah.
So if you look at it like that, it's kind of funny. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, also, doesn't she have like a line about, like, you know? Oh, she says that like later on. She's like, "I bet you say this to all the girls." And it's like, you know, clearly maybe he does have all sorts of shrewd moves, and that's one of them.
Yeah. So much of the film's plot takes place in and around the Seabrook Island, an actual town which is one of the South Carolina Sea Island localities located 20 miles southwest of Charleston. Yeah. How do we feel? I'm just going to ask this. How do we feel about this romantic movie being set in, like, the Deep South? Like, a very racist part of the country, which, again, probably, like, 20 years ago, half the town was a member of the KKK. I was just thinking that it's like, yeah, it's a romantic movie. Does it have to be set in, like, this area, though? This, like, profoundly evil area? And, of course, there's even the plantation. You know, we all know what plantations were used for, don't we?
Yes, we do know.
Yeah. So that always was in the back of my mind while watching this, honestly.
Yeah, I was thinking about it because it's kind of funny because you do see black people in this. Obviously, there's the woman who's like a maid who's black.
Yeah.
Are some of Ryan Gosling?
Yeah.
Are any of Ryan Gosling's friends black?
He dances with a black kid at one point.
Okay, good. So that's fine.
I don't think anyone at the lumber mill actually is black.
Yeah, okay, which is, I mean, you know, I guess they're not even good enough at that. Again, in society's view, of course. Yeah, like, I'm with you that it is one of those things that kind of hangs over the, you know, the whole plot and everything. But, you know, I saw this movie called The Zone of Interest, which was taking place during a pretty serious event, and it was actually just about some guy's garden. So, you know, clearly this isn't the only movie guilty of overlooking really serious ongoing tragedies.
Yeah, it's not as explicit, shall we say, as The Zone of Interest. Of course, The Zone of Interest is trying to make a specific point.
I know, yeah.
So, yeah, but it's kind of on the same scale as that. The Zone of Interest is like a 10 out of 10 on the scale, and this is like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, well, I think, like, it's worth noting, of course, that things weren't as bad for black people at this point. Compared to slavery. And also, I think this was like, I want to say the 40s was like a bit of a lull for the Ku Klux Klan even. Like, my understanding is that they they peaked up around 1915 with Dawn of a Nation, and then they kind of rejuvenated in 1960s and 50s with the Civil Rights Movement.
No, you see, you got your history a bit wrong there.
Oh, okay.
They actually peaked during the 1920s. There was resurgence because of the birth of the nation, I think.
Yeah, okay, but it was delayed. Because they didn't have many moving pictures down south. It took a while to get to them.
Yeah, literally, that's probably one of the reasons. And then I think was it Calvin Coolidge, the president? He was a supporter of the KKK or something.
Oh, okay, he was very cool, was he?
Yeah, and so in the 1920s there was a spiking membership of the KKK.
But I guess like this movie set like in Well, it's kind of difficult because obviously we see World War I happen, and it's implied it happens.
We don't see World War I.
Sorry, World War II happens. What I meant to say. So we see it start from the American perspective.
It's from 1940 to 1946. That's
useful timeline.
Noah's dad would have absolutely been a massive racist, and I refuse to believe anything else.
Well, he's got to be very sophisticated because you know, like, so he reads like poetry and stuff. Yeah. So that we can ignore the fact that he would actually be a racist hick.
Yes, like a lot of people down in that area. Anyway, so and that's something I just couldn't get out of my head. But anyway, so obviously, you know, they go to the movies, you know, and Ali and Noah, you know, they walk home together, you know, and she isn't free, Michael. She feels trapped.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got to bear in mind, like, the worst thing you can be is a really rich white woman.
Yeah, exactly. And so Noah, he does something crazy and spontaneous, you know.
He lies down in the middle of the road.
To get her out of a shell, like lying down in the middle of the road and then dancing in the middle of the road. I mean, that is the formula, isn't it? That's the way to a rich white woman's heart. You gotta just do something crazy, just like Jack, of course, in Titanic. And I'm just thinking, what if these women weren't actually trapped? You know, and we're actually kind of okay with their whole life. What would you do then?
That's a good point. What's the strategy then?
Yeah, would you lie down in the middle of the road? She's like, this doesn't really, get me excited. I've done shit like this before.
That's a good point. Yeah, I guess you've got to do the opposite. You've got to be like, so I've organized a really strict itinerary for our date.
Yeah.
She's like, I've never felt so confined before. You're really special.
That's how you and your wife met.
That's it, yeah.
How it went.
Yeah, she was dancing in the street, singing in the rain, and I went up and went, so I've arranged an itinerary of museums we can go to.
Yeah. Again, it's quite hacky, and I couldn't help but think of the Titanic movie. So, Noah, why does he fall in love with Ali?
Okay. So
this is a question I wrote down, because she is attractive. I mean, Rachel McAdams is quite an attractive woman, but she's wealthy as well. That could help. But yeah, I mean, he's like in love with her right from the word go.
Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of like it makes me think about Twilight, because I feel like there's kind of like two routes.
You know what? We've been talking about female fantasies. We haven't mentioned Twilight.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about, we could have mentioned that for like being, I don't know, emotionally manipulative or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
I was just going to say, I feel like there's two routes that a romantic comedy can go down. The first one is where you kind of have like the meet cute. Like, think about something like Notting Hill, where you can kind of like work out why there's, or like the attraction kind of develops in a way. Where it's like maybe starts off as a crush, but then kind of more happens. And then you've got where a guy literally just arbitrarily decides he's completely obsessed with a woman he's not even spoken to yet, which is what you get in Twilight, and you get it in this movie. And I would say, on balance, that's definitely worse to have it. So you literally are just like, okay, so he's just like completely arbitrarily, just like, she's the most wonderful woman I've ever seen, and I have to have her for no discernible reason. I have to have her, yeah.
Yes. Again, she keeps on saying, I don't want to go on a date with you. And again, like in a normal world, in a normal movie, if this guy came to me, I have to have you, you would be a bit creeped out, I think.
Yeah. I like how arbitrary it seems like her, like I took note of the fact that she's like resistant to dating him, but there's seemingly no real reason why. Like, basically, she's I feel like, but maybe it's like a southern thing where it's like, or like back in the day, a woman's just got to show some resistance, otherwise she's a whore. So maybe that's the explanation.
Okay, Gosling was initially surprised by being chosen for the role. I read the script and thought, he's crazy. I couldn't be more wrong for this movie. He's talking about the director choosing him. It gave me an opportunity to play a character over a period of time from 1940 to 1946. That was quite profound and formative. Yeah, I guess he changes kind of. Like, yeah, he goes from like he's more dour in 46.
He becomes like more depressed.
Yeah, and that's because she isn't in his life really.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even mention like the fact that like not only is he like obsessed with her when he first meets, but he's obsessed with her to the point that he puts his entire life on hold and is like completely miserable about it, which is ridiculous.
Again, female fantasy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like these women need to learn some evolutionary psychology. He's just going to be slinging his seed up the next womb that comes along.
So why do women love this movie? Oh, imagine a guy who waits and just broods in his mansion that he built for me for 6 years.
A really hot guy who built a mansion himself, and it's just going to be like, he's just going to be waiting around.
Yeah, and built a mansion for you. Again, I think this movie, Twilight, Titanic, there is a trend there which makes them popular with a certain demographic. So to prepare for the part, Gosling temporarily moved to Charleston prior to filming. During 2 months, he rode the Ashley River and made furniture. I just love that. Like, I'm doing this, romantic drama. You know what? I've got to make some furniture. That's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to prepare. Actors are so fun in that is so fucking ridiculous, honestly.
I mean, to be fair, at least he got some furniture out of it. That's quite a good tax write-off right there.
Yeah. I will say again, it's a really good performance from him. One of the reasons why this movie works is because he gives a really weird, he does that weird Ryan Gosling kind of thing where he's like quite understated, and then all of a sudden he shows a lot of like joy and like energy.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why I'm thinking about like in La La Land, where it's just like, what? And he says like really loud because she says she doesn't want to be an actor anymore.
Yeah.
He likes that like sudden, like abrupt explosion.
Yeah. And honestly, that works compared to the typical performance you'd expect for this role. So I think he does seem different to other like people, or other men like who would exist around this time period. But it gives legitimacy to why Ali would fall in love with this guy.
Something related to his outbursts, by the way. I don't really want to spend too much time on this, but they also have like a whole thing about like, he says like they argue all the time, but like that's why they love each other, which is one of those things like that would actually be like, in reality, it's another example of like a fantasy as you
Yeah.
said, which doesn't, because like imagine actually being in a relationship where you're arguing all
Well,
the
that's the
time.
thing.
That would be intolerable.
They don't actually argue that much.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's the thing. I guess it's like it's almost like the like it's kind of like when something is said, but in terms of like what it actually would mean, it's not really engaged with.
So again, let's talk about the other lead in the movie. So Rachel McAdams. Again, I think Rachel McAdams in this movie is fantastic. Honestly, like she is incredible. And one of the reasons why...
Well, it sounds like Luke's got a bit of a crush. Sounds like Luke's about to kill himself.
Hey, look, I do look like Ryan Gosling. Maybe I have a chance, you know.
Yeah, that's what you say before your body splats at the floor of a Ferris wheel.
No, but like she's genuinely incredible. I think,
No, yeah.
Given like the material she has to work with and like the character she has to portray, like Ali has to be like kind of spontaneous as well when she gets out of her shell, of course, and like happy and like charismatic and believable, of course. And yeah, she is like.
She's also Canadian, isn't that interesting?
I was going to actually make that point when we got onto the chemistry.
Yeah.
But you spoiled it, damn it. Yeah. So I think again she makes this storyline kind of work and almost feel like like it's a decent storyline. She almost gets there.
Yeah, I would actually agree that she definitely elevates the material.
I think quite a lot, honestly. I think this and Mean Girls showed what a great actor she.
Interestingly, she was 26. Which, like, the fact she was 26 in Mean Girls, like, I know that's like a thing, but she didn't even seem that old.
Yeah, well, it's not surprising. I mean, 26 isn't that crazy for that role, yeah. So let's talk about Rachel McAdams. So a nationwide search was conducted to find the right actress to play Ali. And there's a whole bunch who were considered. Jessica Biel, Britney Spears, Jamie King, Jay McGregor, Jennifer Lawrence, Kate Beckinsale, Kate Bosworth, Amy Adams, Mandy Moore, Scarlett Johansson, Claire Danes, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Ashley Judd, and Reese Witherspoon. The choice was narrowed down to Britney Spears and Rachel McAdams.
Wait, okay. Britney Spears, like, has she ever like even been an actress in anything?
I can't imagine how much worse. Again, because I think McAdams gives a great performance. Like I said, Britney Spears, I don't think would probably be a good actor because she's never done it before. This movie would be really bad if it was Britney Spears. So I'm glad they went with Rachel McAdams.
Oh, you know what? She does actually have she's got a filmography, interestingly, which was kind of focused around. So she was in a film in 2001 called Long Shot, 2002 called Crossroads, and 2003 Austin Powers in Goldmember. Also 2004 she was in Fahrenheit 9/11. I guess probably as B-roll footage,
which we will review.
I know, a bit of what's it called? Foreshadowing.
Of course, she does that interview with Tucker Carlson, where she's chewing gum and she's like, I think the president's doing a good job. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like because Family Guy parodies that.
Yeah, I love how you know that because it's Family Guy.
That's it.
Right. So McAdams spent time in Charleston as well, and took ballet and etiquette classes. And she had a dialect coach to learn the Southern accent. And that's the thing, the accents I think are quite good. Her and Gosling do a fine job. Again, again, they're good actors.
My wife has Southern heritage, which is why she wasn't bothered by any of the slavery stuff, and she didn't complain about the accents.
Good.
She did say there's not enough slavery.
Okay, right. So on casting McAdams, cassette tape said, when Rachel McAdams came in and read, it was apparent that she was the one. Well, I'd hope compared to Britney Spears. She and Ryan had great chemistry between them, and I think you can see that, Gosling said, I think that it's pretty fair to say we probably wouldn't have made the film if we hadn't found Rachel. Well, I don't think that's true, honestly. But
liar.
Ali drives the movie, that is true. So, this was the most important casting, and they got it right. And, I think I think, the movie being a success comes down to the actors being really good, and, of course, the chemistry, which they do have because they're good actors. And, I was going to say, it's maybe because they're Canadian, but of course you stole that.
Yeah, well, also Canadians are very friendly, so like that helps. And Southerners are very friendly. Again, depending.
I mean, it's simple, right? For a romantic movie to work, the actors have to have chemistry.
Yeah,
like it's romantic, dramas or.
And of course, I mean, they ended up dating. I don't know if you already. I mean, I know you already mentioned they did end up dating, but so obviously they've got to have chemistry. Like they had off-screen chemistry. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so there you go. When Ali meets Noah's father, Frank Calhoun, he immediately likes her. However, when Noah meets her parents, they disapprove. Oh wow. what a surprise. What again, it's just the most obvious cliche. The rich family doesn't approve of who the daughter likes. You mentioned Family Guy before. That's Family Guy with Lois.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like such a well-worn trope. And he doesn't earn a lot of money. I mean,
yeah.
just.
But also, I like how it kind of means that, like, if we're talking about like a female fantasy perspective, like she doesn't have to worry about pleasing his parents or anything like that, so she doesn't have to change, which is good for her.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a good point there, Michael. But yeah, it's a bit of a different plot, to Titanic, but it's very close, isn't it? Again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, the parents obviously want her to marry a rich guy because they've got no money. How similar do you think this is to Titanic?
I think it's very similar. But then having said that, you could say how similar is it relative to the fact it's just similar to like a lot of other romantic movies. I'm not sure because I haven't seen like enough romantic movies, especially like kind of like this type of romantic movie, which I guess I'd call like pure chick flicks. And like I'd contrast that with kind of like Notting Hill and like Four Weddings and a Funeral and like Love Actually, where I think those films have a broader appeal and they're kind of more like generically family films. These are 100% just it's porn for women.
Okay.
and I haven't seen that many of these movies.
Have you told your wife that?
I think I probably maybe said words to that effect. But yeah, basically,
I would say it's not a chick flick because it's like a fantasy, which I think is different.
The only thing being flicked is
okay. There we go. That's good. That's clever. So that night, Noah takes Ali to the Windsor plantation. Speaking of flicking,
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he does more than that, of course. As the sun sets, they start to make love. Like, okay, can I point out, like, they do it. They start in a very weird way. Like, they take their clothes off, like, like it's a ritual.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Like.
Yeah, and of course it's probably in the book, but it's not conveyed like that well on screen because it just comes across as quite weird, honestly. But yeah, I like how she just starts talking in the middle of it. Like, it stopped being cliche then, I think.
No, yeah. So I think, I mean, obviously I guess it's like they had to do, what's the word, like she has to come across kind of innocent. I guess they wanted like some kind of funny way of doing it or something like that, because you can't have them bang right away. Women need to they need to edge.
Okay. And of course Ryan Gosling does his whole nonchalant thing, which
he's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, I thought by the way you were going to mention, because like if they were banging at sundown or like just getting ready at sundown, then obviously it's like 2 a.m. by the time, but I guess it's 2 a.m. by the time I get back. I'm just like thinking, how long, like between sundown?
It just took him that long to get an erection.
That's it, yeah. It's like she just kept talking.
Oh god. Right. So when Ali and Noah return to her mansion, Ali's mother Anne makes it clear they are against the relationship and forbid her.
I like he just decided to do the accent for that random bit.
And forbid her from seeing them. Noah leaves and Ali follows. They argue and she breaks up with him, but of course she regrets it. Again, just cliches.
Yeah, all they do is make up and break up.
Yeah. What song is that from?
It's from it's a song called Breathe by Sean Paul.
Oh.
It's like, what are you guys do to me about lately? I don't know. I can't really do it. That was supposed to be Jamaican, but it came out Indian.
So Noah tries to catch her before she goes. Then, okay, right, this is the thing that really pissed me off. In terms of all the cliches, all the fucking, this is a female fantasy talk, which is true, but this is the worst version, the worst excess of that. Noah writes Ali every day for a year. Yeah. Exactly 365 days. It
almost, to be fair though, like at the same time, almost suggests a level of autism or like OCD, that he's just like, I'm going to write to her every year, and then after that he's like, all right, that's it, done.
Yeah, every day you mean, yeah.
Right, yeah, sorry, yeah, every day for a year, yeah.
Yeah. But again, it's like such a romantic drama or, fucking thing. Like it's the concept is just straight out of like,
you know what? I literally watched a movie like recently where it was the whole like someone was writing someone letters and they weren't. Oh, you know what it was? It was The Color Purple. I watched the movie The Color Purple, which I guess that came out in like 1984 to be fair, so that was a while ago. But there's like a whole thing there. I don't know if you've seen the movie or know anything about it, but basically like it's more about like a woman and her sister. And they're separated, not by slavery. The movie does have black people, but it's after slavery. But yeah, basically there's a whole massive plot about like that they're separated and her sister writes to her, but her controlling, abusive husband hides the letters. And I was like, I've literally seen this before. And it was like the exact same thing. Like, I wrote to you, I think it was literally like every day. It might have been even every day for a year, I don't know. But so like even that thing of like somebody, and also it's in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah.
Like someone hiding the letters to control someone.
Yeah, again, like if it was just a bunch of letters, it'd be fine. Again, the trope is, oh yeah, the parents are hiding the letters, but fine. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll accept that. But if it was just like a bunch of letters, but it's exactly 365, it's just, it's infuriating.
I want to know what like the content of the letters was, because you've got to think like after a point, like when he was writing like letter 364 or like I guess like the last one he probably like maybe like in the middle, like letter like 286.
Yeah.
Like was he like really thinking like it was like I've written 286
Yeah.
of these already, or 285?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've thought about you naked again, I guess.
I would like it if like she reads them and they're all just like complete smut, like just like, hey bitch, what that ass do? And she's just like, oh good lord.
So then Noah and Finn enlist in World War II, and of course Finn is killed, and
like that's kind of just rushed through.
Yes, again, I don't think Finn is mentioned ever again.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I'm wrong. I feel like there was like another thing that happened like kind of during this like random like their apart moment where I was like, that feels like it could have been developed a bit more emotionally. It doesn't really matter whatever it was.
Well,
but yeah.
Anyway, of course, Ali nurses wounded soldiers, and she meets Lon Hammond Jr., a young lawyer who comes from old Southern money.
Yes.
After again, it's just such a fucking like. Of course, this could happen conceivably, but he's the perfect person for her parents to contrast with Noah, who was like the worst person she could marry. Oh, wonderful. God. Right, after a few years, of course, they become engaged, and yeah, the cliches just keep coming, and Ali, of course, at least likes him, which is different, of course, to the Titanic movie.
Yeah, like basically that's kind of the big point of departure, because and obviously he's nicer too.
Yeah, he's so nice, he's fine with his fiancée cheating on him.
Like he's like, maybe he was like the first ever cuck. He's like, I'm into that actually.
If he got, like, when they're in the hotel room and he's like, I have 3 options. I could beat him up, I could shoot him, or I could watch. Yeah.
He's like, but to be fair, like, and he said, like, in none of those options do I get you. And that one he kind of gets her.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was clearly the best option.
Yeah. I could just pull up a chair. Right, so Noah returns from the war and fixes up the Windsor plantation, and he believes if he restores it, Ali will return. But of course, Noah then sees Ali in Charleston. He runs to find her. He looks through a window and sees Ali with her new fiancé. Again,
yes.
we should just do a bingo of cliches.
That's it, yeah.
Another cliche. One of the lovers sees their lover with another person and through a window, and that lover doesn't see the other lover, etc., etc. And then that lover then walks away defeated, depressed, etc. Yeah, it's just all happened before. So once the plantation is completed, Noah doesn't sell it, as it is a metaphor for his hope of seeing Ali, or his and Ali's relationship. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, of course he's unhappy, and he drinks, and he's doing this. This is where I was going to bring it up. All over one woman. Again, you can tell this was written by a woman or a gay man. Or just an incredibly cynical straight man.
I think Nicholas Sparks might be an incredibly cynical straight man.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Like, there's no way he doesn't when he's writing this shit. He's not like, oh yeah,
What I find hilarious is Nicholas Sparks isn't even hot. Like that must.
Why would that be hilarious?
Well, I just think because he writes these movies that women go like crazy over.
Yeah. Well, they don't go crazy over him, do they?
I know. It's just like really funny that like in a way, he's kind of like he's connecting with these women on such a deep, visceral level, and they're all like intensely in love with this world he's created, and then he just looks like a weirdo.
Yeah. I think it has to be cynical from him. And the thing is, James Cameron, of course, he wrote another female fantasy, which was Titanic, and he's a man, and he's of course another straight man. But with Cameron, I just think he's just like. He's just above it. He's like, yeah, I'll just write this. Yeah, whatever. Like he really, he just wrote the story because it's like, yeah, it's popular, there's tropes, but I really care about like the actual Titanic. That's what I'm there for. Yeah. So in the present,
it's like in the version of this movie would be like that. It's actually 100% about home renovation.
Yes,
it's like a really big fan of home renovation. I just added this plot on it.
I want an excuse to write a movie about home renovation, but I guess I have to add this romantic drama into this book, to make it work. So in the present, the elderly woman is revealed to be Ali, now suffering from dementia. Duke is actually Noah. Again, we get scenes of them cutting in and out throughout the movie, but of course this is when it's revealed, and he's using a pseudonym not to startle her in her state. Again, the thing is, they could have stopped this from being revealed, but the thing, you always suspected it from the start, didn't you? Yeah. So when and here's the thing, I was thinking, okay, it's them two, but she has dementia, and of course, then it's revealed, she has dementia, and I would pat myself on the back, but of course, it's the most obvious thing to do. So yeah, I'm not going to give myself too much credit. But yeah, I think you know what, we could have had an interesting twist. What if Duke is Lon Hammond? What about that?
That would be an interesting twist, and I think maybe you could do something with that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, it would add to the whole cock thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he just goes, like, he's just like, leaves her and just starts jerking off furiously. Like, she's like, I miss Noah. Really, what did you do with Noah?
The thing is, I thought, it would have been interesting if, he's reading this, that would have been a nice twist, a subversion of your expectations, one might say. But then, I thought that would have, Duke's Lon Hammond. But then later on in the movie, of course, they have like this 3-day sex binge, and I just can't imagine, unless he was a cook, of course. This guy reading that out and like reminiscing and talking about that, because then I was like, oh yeah, that wouldn't be possible, of course. But whatever. So Ali sees a newspaper photo of Noah in front of the renovated house and faints. Ali's feelings for Noah come rushing back. She asks Lon to take a solo trip before the wedding. Ooh, never a good sign, honestly. Like, yeah, where are you going? Nowhere. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, because you can imagine like this guy who's rich, who's had everything handed to him, who again is alive in the 1940s, probably has some misogynistic views, certainly backward views, and he's very nice to her. He's like, oh, you don't have to call. Come in. Oh, you want to go before the wedding, and I don't know where, without any explanation? Yeah, sure, go for it. Absolutely. I just don't find that very believable, honestly. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, returning to Seabrook, she finds Noah living in their dream house. They rekindle and consummate their relationship. And yeah, there you go. Did you enjoy those scenes, Michael?
Yeah, I guess it was, as they call it in the business, pretty hot. Oh, I did think it was a bit weird that she's like really upset. Like, she's like, why didn't you write? But the thing is, if she was so bothered by it, why didn't she write to him? That's what I was thinking about. I was like, she never wrote to him, because if she did...
That's a good point.
So I was like thinking that, like, she's a massive hypocrite. But I think, again, like, that's... it's kind of funny in a way, because like in some sense, that whole... like him not writing to her thing almost feels like kind of irrelevant, in that like, well, they still ended up hooking up anyway. But it does make sense that she's like calling him out. She could have wrote him. Typical woman not taking any responsibility.
Again, I know, right? So days later, Anne appears to warn Ali that Lon has come to Seabrook. She reveals that she also once loved a lower class young man in town.
Yeah, which seems like a massive coincidence. Maybe that's just what all women are like.
I literally put that down. This seems like a massive coincidence. That's what I wrote. Yeah, you and I were thinking the same thing again, because it's an insane thing. But yeah, maybe women are all like this in the South. They all fall for a lower class, or if they're wealthy, of course. Yeah,
it's like, it's the closest we can get to black guys.
Well, yeah. So the upper class women fall for poor white guys, and the lower class women fall for black guys. That's how it works.
Yeah,
to piss off their parents or whatever. Yeah, that's
the rule. Everyone just aims down a level.
Yeah, that's the food chain.
and like black women, they just go for gay guys. I don't know.
Okay. So Noah and Ali argue, and he tells her to decide what she wants. Not what everyone else wants. And of course, she drives back to her hotel, sobbing and confused, and confesses her infidelity. And he still wants her back, but of course she follows her heart and returns to Noah. Again, I think that scene could have been a bit more dramatic, honestly. But whatever, it's fine. And of course, while this is going on, we know almost for certain, like, Duke is Noah, so that ruins the tension. But I guess the tension is, it's replaced by seeing the present day Ali realize that she chose Noah, and like we said, that has its benefits. It's not as hacky, I guess. And also, like, it's, I guess, more surprising they took this turn. You could argue it's more romantic, because it's all about Ali, and she's realizing, oh, this guy, this is Noah, and it's all about her realization, which of course is you could argue it's more impactful from a romantic point of view. I don't know, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I basically agree. I think like the impact of this works, and I think we've not explicitly said it. I do think this kind of premise of like a guy reading a woman basically her autobiography about their romance because she's got dementia, it's a pretty good creative premise. And I would give the movie kudos for that.
Yes, I agree. So I like the line when Noah says, when she recovers from her dementia temporarily, Noah says, "You just went away for a little, And now you're back again. That's nice. That's nice. That's a nice comparison. So yeah, again, he's dealt with this before. She's gone away from him before. So yeah, I like that. Ali, of course, says how long, before she forgets, and Duke says, possibly 5 minutes, and they dance to "I'll Be Seeing You," and she asks about the kids, but then the dementia returns, so she's sedated, and then he has a heart attack, and then they recover, and despite not being permitted, Duke sneaks into Ali's room in the night, and she recognizes him because it's the end of the movie, so that has to happen. They kiss and fall asleep holding hands, and they are found in the morning having died peacefully in each other's arms. And there we go. That is, in terms of like romantic schmaltzy, like sentimental endings, that's got to be the most ever.
Yeah. So I said I had it wasn't really a hot take, but I have a very strongly felt take about the ending. Basically, I think that there is a change to the ending that could knock this film up easily a whole rating out of 10, a whole point out of 10. And it's what I felt the first time I watched it too, which is I think if the movie just ended at 1 hour and 50 minutes, that would have made it a much stronger movie. And of course, what I'm talking about is when she freaks out and then he looks at the pictures together and it starts like playing the song like "I'll Be Seeing You," blah blah. I think if it would have gone to credits then, and I know obviously that sounds like way more depressing, and obviously I guess, like you say, that it's very schmaltzy. But it wouldn't have even been that depressing, because it could leave open the idea of like, well, maybe next time she'll remember him. Obviously, like, as it is, the ending, not only is it very schmaltzy, and not only does it kind of remove any ambiguity, which, ambiguity is often quite nice at the end of a movie. You got a little bit of like an open-ended thing, but also it's kind of like a weird, like, fake out kind of situation where it's sort of drawn out, because it's like you have that potential ending there, or like there's like so many things that happen. It's like there's her coming back, so you could maybe end it there if you wanted a really happy ending. Then there's her not remembering it anymore. Then there's him having a heart attack. There's like sort of some big melodrama there, and then they die together. It kind of feels like too much melodrama, too much schmaltz all put together. But like I say, I think the actual the idea behind the ending of like he reminds her and stuff like that is a pretty good idea, and therefore I would give the movie a lot more credit if it hadn't just been so, what's the word I'm looking for, overindulgent with the ending.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of fine with it because the movie just has that tone, throughout it. It just goes for it. It doesn't care that you might call it like over sentimental. It's just like, no, we're doing it. So yeah, of course. That love is a miracle. It's the greatest thing ever. So yeah, of course this would happen. So yeah, I kind of respect it for going to those lengths. So yeah, I'll conclude now on the movie, and you can do it after. So yeah, I think again, it's in terms of like romantic drama movies, which are this again sentimental, melodramatic, emotionally manipulative. Some might say it's probably the best of those movies. It's the credit to Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling for not making me dislike this movie, because I very well could have. I think the performances they give are really good and elevate things, and they make it again watchable. Not just watchable, like quite watchable. Some of the scenes with them are quite good, and the chemistry again. The basic foundation for movies like this is the chemistry, and they have got it. So yeah, that's elevating the movie quite a bit, obviously, compared to what could have been if they casted Britney Spears and Hayden Christensen. I'm going to give this movie, I think, it's, for me, it's like a 5.5 out of 10, I'm thinking. I think that's fair. What are you going to give it?
Okay, yeah. So I think we kind of, we had a lot of fun talking about the movie, but when it comes to our overall assessment, I think we're in reasonable agreement. I guess I'll give away my rating right away.
That's a nice preamble.
I was going to give it a low 6, actually, so I was going to put it above you. I was going to put it in that 6 territory, because also, I mean, I didn't really mention this, but by the end of the movie, I was aware that the movie was emotionally manipulative, but it did successfully emotionally manipulate me, and I was kind of feeling like a sense of the kind of sadness and bittersweetness, I guess, with the kind of conclusion. So, again, kind of with a movie like this, like the best thing I guess it could do is succeed, and even in succeeding, it's never going to be a fantastic movie. But it's of course, the one thing is it basically doesn't anything. Like I say, I checked, and this is the best reviewed movie based on a Nicholas Sparks movie. So the problem is, if you watch any other movie like this going forward, we know it's probably going to be worse than this. So
Yeah.
in a way, like this movie, not only have we watched this movie, but we can now officially clear off from our watch list any movies we were remotely considering watching like this, because we've already achieved the pinnacle.
Yeah, again, it's a fine movie. It's like almost good. It's at that level. And yeah, again, at the end, because of that, you're like, oh yeah, you do feel something, and I'm not just like rolling my eyes and scoffing, and that's again a credit to the actors and maybe again the plot device with the dementia, because again that's kind of unique. So yeah, that's crucial in making this a 5.5 for me instead of like a 3. Anyway, what are we looking at next week?
Well, next week we're going to be looking at a very similar movie, a bit schmaltzy. We're going to be looking at Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes, join us for that. The Summer of Love continues. Yes, thank you. For listening. We have been selecting and reflecting on The Notebook for its 20-year anniversary. I've been Luke. Who have you been, Michael?
I've been Michael.
And thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.